Howdy folks, I'm Meandering Morologus, merrily making much mischief.
I'm Amber.
And here's more mischief for us to make. Let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Taking My Girlfriend on a Bigfoot Hunting Trip Without Telling Her? I'm a 25-year-old female and I love cryptids. Growing up, my mom used to tell me about the beasts that roam the land and sea when no one is watching. I could not get enough of her stories. When the other kids were daydreaming about becoming doctors and astronauts, I was plotting out how I would capture Bigfoot. My partner, Beatrice, a 27-year-old female, is more of a skeptic, but that was never really an issue in our relationship until recently. She used to love hearing cryptid stories, even if she totally didn't believe them. But recently, she started hanging out with a new group of friends, and ever since then, she has been rude anytime I bring up cryptids. She's always asking me where I got my proof, or what scientific journal did I read that in, as if scientists know everything there is to know about the world. I wanted to prove to her that there are more to cryptid stories than she realizes. There recently was a wave of Bigfoot sightings in a camping area not far from where we live. I knew that she would never agree to go on a Bigfoot hunting trip, so instead I pitched it as a romantic camping getaway. The first day nothing happened, but the second we were on a hike when I noticed what looked like it might be footprints off in the woods. I tried to get her to follow me off the trail, but she insisted on staying put and tried to stop me from going. I wasn't about to let her stop me from achieving my dream, so I hurried over. The footprints looked vaguely human, but it was almost 3 times as long as my foot. It was in a patch of mud, so you could kind of see the imprints in the grass where Bigfoot might have walked, but this was the only clear footprint. I took a bunch of photos and then I head back to her. I thought that when she saw the photos, that she would be convinced that Bigfoot was real and that we could continue to investigate together. But instead, she went off on me for turning our romantic getaway into a monster hunting trip. When I admitted that was my intention all along, she got even more mad. I tried to show her the photos, but she insisted that they were just bear tracks. They didn't look anything like bear prints. And then she snatched my phone out of my hand and threw it in the stream that ran along the hiking trail. I managed to fish it out, but it's an older model phone and it isn't waterproof, so it was done for. We headed home after that. We haven't really been talking since. She did apologize for ruining my phone and offered to buy me a new one, but she said that she did what she had to do to save me from my weird fixation. Was I really wrong to try and share my passion with my girlfriend? I don't feel like I did anything wrong, but she and her friends obviously think otherwise. I need an unbiased opinion. Alright folks, what do you think?
I think OP and the girlfriend are both in the wrong a bit. Like, definitely OP for doing this whole sneaky, let's make this like it's a romantic camping getaway, but then like, haha, we're secretly hunting Bigfoot.
I mean, I think that OP needed to do what they needed to do in order to make sure that their girlfriend believed in Bigfoot.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with that at all. It feels very manipulative.
Well, I mean, generally I would say manipulation is bad, but in this particular case, I mean, I think I can give it a pass. I mean, I think, the girlfriend was being stubborn and hard-headed, and it seemed like what OP did here was not terrible. I think that they tried to make a believer out of them, even though, they were a skeptic.
Yeah, I cannot sign off on that. Now, I do think the girlfriend was in the wrong for throwing her phone in the water. I think unfortunately it caused a lot of, OP lost everything she had on her phone, presumably. Now, depending on the damage, like, I don't know if the SIM card is still good at all. Like, you might be able to take it to like a computer repair place and see if they can get any of the data off the SIM card, but it might be just completely gone, and then OP lost all those photos, and that's really sad. But yeah. I, again, think that OP should never have done this in the first place. It wasn't right to try and manipulate her girlfriend like that.
Yeah, but let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care, and good luck. And Conspiracies for Days says, Dude, she doesn't want you to know the truth. Obviously, Bigfoot is real, but the government has to keep it under wraps. And OP replies, I feel like it's more likely that she doesn't want to be wrong. Why would the government need to keep Bigfoot a secret? And Conspiracy for Days says, DM me. And Why Am I Here 2323 says, You're the jerk for lying about the trip, and her for throwing your phone. Just break up already. You're clearly not meant to be together. And OP replies, But I really do love her. This is one disagreement. I feel like if she just stopped hanging out with those losers, everything would go back to how it used to be. And Trust No One for Real says, seems awfully convenient that your proof of Bigfoot just magically vanished. And OP replies, Beatrice, is that you? For real though, I'm devastated that I lost those pictures. It meant so much to have tangible proof. And Cryptic Cuddler says maybe Bigfoot saw the whole thing and is now writing its own post about how humans can't handle the truth. Hashtag Team Bigfoot. And Skeptic Sally says, honestly, throwing the phone was a bit much, but imagine explaining that to the insurance. Why did it break? Bigfoot disagreement. And Cryptic Chronicles says, pro tip, next time wear a Bigfoot costume. Either you find Bigfoot or you become the next sighting. Win-win. And Love Lore says, plot twist. Beatrice is secretly a cryptid researching human behavior. Your passion was just too close to home.
A lot of conspiracy theorists on here.
Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Feeding My Roommate's Pets to My Pet? I am a 26-year-old male, and I have a roommate, a 23-year-old male. For some background, I have a couple of spiders that I keep as pets. And my roommate has some fruit flies that he keeps as pets. There isn't anything special about these flies. He just throws banana peels into a glass aquarium and they breed like crazy. He does have some plants and dirts in the container as well, so just a basic terrarium. Also, occasionally they escape from the container and they get annoying, buzzing around your face, trying to land in your food, just gross. Recently, I realized that it would be a lot easier to feed my spiders if I just started using his fruit flies. So I've been catching them and feeding a few of them to them. This was going fine until one day my roommate caught me with a mesh net that contained a few of his precious pets. I explained, not thinking that it would be a big deal, but he flipped out and refused to speak to me. Am I the jerk for feeding his flies to my spiders? Alright folks, what do you think?
Yeah, OP's the jerk here. Like, I understand the fruit flies might be annoying if they get out of the container, and if the spider just happens to eat those ones, that's nature at play, but you should not take someone else's pets and feed them to your pet. It doesn't really matter if you don't really value fruit flies, they're still your roommate's property, and so you shouldn't do that.
I don't know, I think once they've escaped the terrarium and they're out in the open...
Well, once they've escaped and they're out in the open, but taking ones out of the terrarium and feed them to the spider.
Yeah, he shouldn't be taking them out of the terrarium, but if they're out and about, I think they're kind of free game.
I wouldn't say he should go out of his way, but, if his spider is just kind of free-ranging and eats them, again, that's just how nature works.
Free-range spiders. Yeah, I certainly think that going into his cage and capturing the fruit flies directly from source might have been a little bit much, but also, fruit flies are just kind of an annoying pest in a lot of ways, so I don't know why he's keeping them as pets.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't love having fruit flies in my house, but... also, they're still little critters and they don't necessarily deserve to be fed. Nature is cruel and all that, but... Yeah,
I get that. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Mom of the Six-Legged says, you're the jerk. That's so cruel. Those poor fruit flies. And OP replies, they're flies. It's not like they would have lived much longer anyways. And Why Am I Here 2323 says, what in the world? Who keeps fruit flies as pets? And OP replies, sometimes he even sings to them. It's so weird. With him singing to them, I guess that maybe he does value them as pets to some degree. It's just a little strange, though.
People who sing to plants and stuff, so...
maybe he's singing to the plants. And Eco Warrior 101 says, nature's circle of life at play here. Spiders gotta eat, but maybe ask before adopting an all-you-can-eat fly buffet. And OP replies, fair point. I thought that it was an efficient food chain setup. Next time, I negotiate a fly-spider treaty. And Insect Insider says, actually, this could disrupt the delicate ecosystem of your home. Ever considered that? And OP replies, I didn't think we had an ecosystem, but I guess you're right. Time to consider the indoor biodiversity. And Fly Fanatic says, as someone who talks to flies, they might have been planning their great escape. You're accidentally becoming a legend in fly folklore. And OP replies, I'll be remembered as the great disruptor of fly freedom. Maybe I should write an apology letter to their community.
At least OP has a good sense of humor.
Alright folks, and our next letter is an update. Update, am I the jerk for telling my boyfriend that his toys aren't alive? And this one was from about a year ago or so.
Yeah, so basically, OP's boyfriend's parents had been moving his toys on him for years, so he'd think they were alive in Toy Story. And since he was going to move in with OP, they decided to tell OP that it's now her responsibility. And she didn't want to do it, so she told him the truth, and all heck broke loose.
Hey everyone, sorry for taking so long to update. I honestly was a bit overwhelmed by the responses to the last post, but thank you so much for your kind words. And then life got hectic. But I know some of you really want to know how things turned out, so here's the update. The day after I made my Reddit post, my boyfriend Carl called me and asked if he could come over to talk. As soon as he stepped through the door, he started to apologize profusely. Carl is a very trusting person. Honestly, it's an endearing quality and one of the things that I love about him. But sometimes he can be a bit gullible. He found it really hard to believe that his parents would have lied to him for so many years, which is why he was hesitant to believe me. The night that I made my post, he pretended to be asleep. His mom came in around 3 a.m. and started moving his toys. He confronted her, and she confessed that she and his dad had been moving his toys all this time because they didn't want to ruin the magic for him. I forgave him because he's basically perfect in every other respect, and he was willing to own up when he was wrong. We did delay moving in together for a few months, but he moved in July, and it's been wonderful. I sometimes worry that I'm not pulling my weight because of just how much he does around the house. When he moved in, I cleared a shelf of my bookshelf for him to put his favorite toys on. Even though he knows that they're not alive now, he still says goodnight to them every night, and it's a cute little ritual that I've joined him in. Honestly, my heart is so full of love for this man. I'm so glad that the toy issue was just a little hiccup in our relationship, and I look forward to spending the rest of my life with him. Thank you to everyone who commented on my original post. I really appreciate all the love and support. Add to the folks who told me that I was being too hard on him. Thank you for that too. You helped me see that I could be a little bit better of a partner. And that's it. I'm wishing you all the best. And to those of you who are looking for love, I hope you're able to find someone every bit as sweet and caring as Carl. All right, folks, what do you think of that one?
It's so sweet. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was a really sweet story. I'm glad that OP and their partner are getting along, and I'm a little concerned about the parents still and their role in things. But I mean, it's been a year, so it seems like things are probably smooth sailing for the most part.
Yeah, hopefully they get it all sorted out.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
April.
April who?
April showers. Bet you thought I was going to say April Fools.
Oh, I thought you were. And as you folks may have realized by now that this was our April Fool's episode. All of the stories, of course, were made up, and this was, of course, an update to
a made-up story.
A made-up story.
Yeah, so I wrote the first and third ones, and Brian wrote the second one. And the comments were a mix.
So, hopefully you enjoyed all of those silly, silly stories. And I have manila envelope flavored tea. Or Mega Mint, whichever one you want. Oh, and one more note. Also, that constellation was made up. There is no Morgologius constellation.
Yeah, well, we wanted one that means something like fool or something like that in Latin, so...
Like foolish.
Yeah, foolish. We thought it was fitting.
All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Manic Monday. I hope this Monday is going well for you, and I hope you haven't been fooled too many times. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please make it a little silly and foolish.
If at first you don't succeed, look for Bigfoot again.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye!
You're inadvertently becoming a legend in folklore. You're inadvertently becoming a legend in folklore. You're inadvertently becoming a legend in I can't say fly folklore.
Fly folklore.
You're accidentally becoming a legend in fly folklore.
Fly folklore. Just dub my voice over yours.
You're accidentally becoming a legend in fly folklore.